The Design Tourist is in Princeton, New Jersey at the personal home of architect and designer Michael Graves. Now, I personally am curious as to what his home interiors look like. He is, of course, a living legend. Well, guess what? Today, Michael is going to take us on a tour of his home. Hi, I'm Karen LeBlanc, and I'm the Design Tourist, a new breed of traveler in search of global inspiration, unique design finds, and the most brilliant design minds. I take you behind the scenes and give you VIP access to some of the world's premier design destinations, events, and shows. Together, we'll discover destinations with a design story to tell. Come travel with us in style on The Design Tourist.
This house, when I bought it, had 44 little rooms, and this was 4 rooms here. And so I took walls away and have a space big enough for a living room.
Michael transformed an old warehouse into a 5,000 square foot residence that manages to counterbalance its museum-like quality with warm, welcoming, and livable spaces.
We're in a room now, we're not in a space. The room is spatial, but it has the qualities of enclosure. And that's part of what you like about it, that it has character. I designed it, and I also bought Peter Meyer furniture because it's so architectural in character. Well, these are all architecture and design books. Design is over here, architecture and monographs of architecture there. I built it out of PVC pipes. These are plastic pipes.
No way.
That have been faux.
This is brilliant. I would have never guessed that this was PVC pipe. Brilliant idea. The halls and the walls are filled with Michael's drawings, sketches, and paintings. Drawing by hand is essential to Michael's creative process, and even with all of today's technology, he insists on first sketching out his ideas on paper. An architect with the soul of an artist, and it comes out to play in his art studio at home.
Well, I couldn't play golf anymore. Now I paint instead of wasting my time on the course.
And these landscapes that I'm looking at, are these just memories from your travels?
Yes, a lot of them are from drawings that I made. I make drawings on my travels, and then I come back and I paint.
On the day I visited, it was snowing, so we sat in the living room by the warm glow of the fireplace to chat about Michael's life and career.
I think there are a lot of funny things going on in architecture today. Funny in the sense that strange. I call it lunatic fringe, as there are so many weird buildings being built. It's a kind of narcissistic architecture. I am a humanist. I'm sure you're going to ask me about postmodernism.
Of course.
But I'm a humanist. And so that's where my architecture comes from.
Earlier that day, I visited Grounds for Sculpture in Hamilton, New Jersey. It's just a few miles from Michael's home, where a retrospective of his career is on exhibit. Now, Michael's often referred to as the father of postmodernism, but Michael doesn't do labels.
There's postmodern poetry, there's postmodern law, there's postmodern medicine, there's postmodern everything. Everything has a good name except architecture, which was kind of ballyhooed for a while, and it didn't live up to what its potential was. Though I understand from people who've interviewed me lately that when they talk to younger people, they're all very interested in postmodernism again.
I think what draws young people to quote-unquote postmodernism, architecturally speaking, is it's happy. The color, the forms, it seems warm and almost whimsical. Do you see that?
Just exactly as you say, whether it's the color or the form, there's about a joy about being in a postmodern building that modernism doesn't give you. Modernism has as its mantra the machine. Its metaphor is to look to the machine and to make things look like they're machine made and put up by machines. and you lose the human hand, you lose the sense of being a humanist building. And I wasn't interested in that kind of modernism. I wanted to tell stories in my buildings.
Michael's buildings tell stories in soft, muted colors and the classic forms of early Greek and Roman architecture, but with his own relatable metaphors and whimsical elements. It's an architectural and design language Michael developed while living in Rome for 2 years as part of his grand tour, something Michael encourages all students of architecture to do. So have you amassed a collection of artifacts?
Of grand tour objects,
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
So what are some of your favorites? Obviously, we're looking at that.
Those candelabras are pretty rare.
Yeah.
They're found, as a lot of this stuff is, in the Naples Museum, the originals. Here are these little temples, which are all inkwells. Now that contraption up there is a Pompeian kitchen. I found that at Christie's.
That is something else. Natural light pours in through the skylights and clerestory windows. Walls gracefully curve and meander, creating interesting and surprising spaces. It's a home designed with grace and beauty to play host to Michael's precious collection of ancient artifacts and art. Here in your kitchen, am I going to find some Target products in your kitchen?
Well, there's a mixer there and a can opener and a keeper for cereals.
Wow, so you really do design and use
Sure.
what you create. Target would be very proud to come and take a look at this kitchen.
Yeah, well, they're better than anybody else on the market.
What was your muse for the products that you designed for Target?
Really, humanism is what I think about whatever I'm doing. Making a room for the toilet brush, or making the toilet brush itself, or making a soap dish, whatever it was what we did. All of that was such an enormous kick for me. I love doing it.
Where did the signature blue come from?
Well, Target was all red, and so we wanted to stand out on our aisle with something else, because we didn't want just to blend in with everything red, because we didn't want to be taken for the next designer or the next aisle. And so I love blue and I love red and green and all the colors.
Michael, look what I found.
I know.
Are you going to make me tea?
I could make you tea. Yes.
I love the fact that you use what you design in your own personal home.
I just bought a new bird for that.
You did?
Yeah, after 85, what's 85 to today, we had finally melted the bird.
Well, the bird had a nice long life.
It did have a good long life. When Alessi said to me, I want you to make a kettle that boils water faster than other kettles, then he said, I want you to make an American kettle. And I don't know what an American kettle is anymore. The water boils the same here as it does there, wherever there is. And so I use the bird as the way of waking us up, and can go to your kettle when the bird sings, so that you can kindle fire the flame down.
From the kitchen, we headed upstairs. Michael took the elevator. It's one of only a few modifications he's made to the home. The other is a barrier-free shower with a flush drain. This is Michael's medals. Come take a look at this. This trumps any trophy case. I'm actually touching his National Medal of the Arts. It's better than an Oscar for an architect. After becoming a patient himself in 2003, Michael took his attention and turned it towards healthcare and the patient care experience. And this is just a great example of some of his prolific contributions to the hospital environment. You seem to be very focused on improving the patient care experience, and some of that goes back to being ill in 2003 with this strange virus that left you in the wheelchair. Do you in any way see that was sort of fated or destiny to kind of get you to focus on this area of your career?
I probably wouldn't have gone after it so vigorously. I think it's fair to say, because I had the experience of being in such dreadful places, that I wanted to do something about it. I didn't think anybody should suffer that. And so we're making small inroads.
Today, Michael Graves' design firm partners with Stryker Medical and Kimberly-Clark to design products that are easy to use and happy to look at. I wanted to show you, this is a great example. This is a wheelchair, and it's super cool, very design savvy. It won the 2014 Red Dot Award, and Michael designed this for Stryker Medical. I'd like to end this interview with your thoughts about what you want your legacy to be. How do you want history to remember you?
Somebody wrote in Fast Company that my legacy would probably be my office, meaning a number of designers who've been there for 20 and 30 years, still doing it after all this time, and can continue the work the way we've started it. That's a pretty nice thing to have. It's not anything for yourself, but it's something that where the ideas were strong enough to keep the whole sense of design, and good design at that, going for a very, very long time. Nothing is forever, but it could last for a period of time that I think would be a great joy to me if I knew that's what happened to my time spent here.
Well, you've made quite a lasting contribution, not only to architecture and art, but pop culture as well. I mean, your products, as I said, resonate in households across the nation. I thank you so much for having us in your home today. It's been such an honor to meet you and hang out with this amazing design mind. Before I said goodbye to Princeton, I had to stop by the nearest Michael Graves design building I could find. It happens to be the Mila US headquarters. Neoclassical, lighthearted, inviting, and with a friendly face that just makes you want to smile. Until the design tourist travels again, stay tuned and stay inspired. I don't want to mess up Michael Graves' probably priceless rugs.